Kansas is a Midwestern U.S. state known for its agriculture, particularly wheat production, earning it the nickname, the Wheat State. It's also known as the Sunflower State. The state is landlocked and bordered by Nebraska, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Colorado. Kansas is also recognized for its role in the history of aviation, with Wichita being known as the air capital of the world. I don't share this story often, not because I've forgotten it, believe me. I couldn't if I tried, but because it sounds insane, and to this day, no one believes me. Not completely. I grew up in a small town in Kansas. Quiet, isolated. You know the type endless fields in every direction. You can stand at your back porch and see nothing but tall wheat and soybeans for miles. I never thought much about it, until something started watching me from those fields. Something I know was not human. It started early one summer, around 11:30 at night. I was sitting outside on the back porch, scrolling through my phone, enjoying the cool air. Our yard ends at a wooden fence. Beyond that, it's just open field. I noticed something strange, a shape, standing out there, still, tall, human-shaped dot at first. I thought maybe it was a scarecrow, but it hadn't been there earlier. I stared at it for a long time, trying to figure it out. It didn't move. Eventually, I told myself I was imagining things and went back inside. But the feeling I had in my gut, that stayed with me. The next night, I looked out again same time, and he was there, this time closer, just beyond the fence. A man, tall, thin, dressed in black, not walking, not waving, just standing, watching the house. I stared for what felt like forever, and then he was gone. Just like that dot over the next week, he kept showing up, sometimes far away in the field, sometimes right at the fence line. Never moving, never making a sound, just watching. I finally got the courage to open the door one night and step onto the porch. I wanted to prove to myself that it was all in my head, but he didn't vanish this time. He stood there, and then he tilted his head, just slightly, like he knew I could see him. I bolted back inside. From that night on, I kept the curtains closed. But I knew he was out there. Then my dog, Ranger, started acting weird. One night, around 2 a.m., he started barking and growling, unlike anything I'd heard from him before. I followed the sound and found him by the back door, fur bristled, teeth bared. I looked outside, and there he was, right behind the fence, closer than ever before. This time, I saw his face. It was pale, expressionless, but his eyes were too wide, like he hadn't blinked in hours. He slowly lifted one hand and pointed directly at me. That was it. I yanked the curtain shut and ran upstairs. I barely slept the rest of the week. Things escalated fast. One night, I was asleep and suddenly woke up. No sound, no light, just that feeling, like something was wrong. I sat up and looked toward my window and froze. There was a face. Outside, my second floor window. That's right, second floor. No ladder. No tree nearby. Just him somehow. Right there. His pale hand pressed against the glass. He leaned forward slowly until our faces were inches apart, and then he smiled. That grin, it was too wide. His teeth were sharp. Too many of them. I screamed. My parents came running, but he was gone. Just like that. We called the police. They searched. Found nothing. No footprints. No sign of a ladder. No sign that anyone had even been near the house. That's when I started looking online. I needed answers. I found stories, threads, old blog posts. People had seen him before. They called him different names. The Thin Watcher, the Pale Man, the midnight guest. But they all said the same thing. He shows up when you notice him. And the more afraid you are, the closer he gets. Don't acknowledge him. Don't look. Don't let him in. It was too late for me. That it all came to a head on July 4th. My parents were at a friend's barbecue. I stayed home. It was quiet. Too quiet. Around 10:30, the power went out. No lights. No AC. No fireworks in the distance. Just silence. Then I heard it. Tap. 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 Coming from inside the house. I opened my bedroom door. Nothing there. But the tapping continued. Now coming from downstairs. From the back door, I crept down the steps, heart pounding. The door was wide open, pitch black beyond it. And standing in the hallway was him. No more fences. No more windows. He was inside, and he was smiling. I don't remember grabbing my keys. I don't remember running. I just remember driving barefoot, shaking, trying to get away. I didn't stop until I was in town. My parents moved 2 months later. We never talked about it again, and I've never seen him since. But sometimes, when I'm driving alone at night, and I pass by empty fields, I feel it again. That presence, like something's watching. Waiting. So, if you ever see someone standing in the middle of a field at night, don't wave, don't speak, and whatever you do, don't look back. Story 2. There was a stranger living in the forest behind my cabin. The Pacific Northwest, PNW, is a region in western North America, generally encompassing the states of Washington, Oregon, and parts of Idaho and western Montana, along with the Canadian province of British Columbia. It's a region known for its rugged coastline, mountains, forests, and rivers. I moved to the woods to get away from people. I didn't expect to find someone already living out there. Someone who didn't want to be found. Someone who watches. This is the true story of what happened to me last year when I left the city and rented a remote cabin in Oregon. And why I'll never step foot in those woods again. For 8 years, I lived in Portland. Loud, busy, and slowly draining the life out of me. By the end, I just wanted quiet, space, a break from everything. So I packed up, sold what I didn't need, and found a rental cabin out in the forest near Bend, Oregon. Middle of nowhere. No neighbors, no traffic, just trees. And for the first few weeks, it was paradise. Mornings on the porch with coffee, hiking trails that went on for miles, fresh air, silence. I didn't even mind being alone, but it turns out IWASN, single quotes T. It started small. Twigs, snapping outside at night, footsteps on gravel when no one should have been out there. I brushed it off, probably deer, maybe a fox. Then I noticed something weird. Footprints. But not shoes, not boots. Bare human footprints. In the mud, around the cabin, along the windows, in a circle. And it was cold outside. Nobody would walk barefoot out here. At least, nobody normal. Few nights later, I was on the porch after dark. The woods were pitch black beyond the tree line. No moon, no wind. And I saw movement. A tall figure standing between 2 trees. He didn't move. He just watched. I could barely make out his shape, but he was there. I leaned forward to get a better look. And just like that, he was gone. I stood there for a long time, waiting. But he never came back, at least not that night. Still, I locked every window in the house, just in case. The next morning, I grabbed my flashlight and knife and followed the spot where I'd seen him. A few hundred feet into the woods, I found something I hadn't noticed before. A trail, narrow, overgrown, but definitely man-made. I followed it for about 20 minutes. That's when I found it. A clearing. And in the center, a shelter. Built from sticks, tarps, and garbage bags. Like someone had been living out there. There were old cans of food, a broken lantern, a kettle over a cold fire pit. But the worst part? Dozens of little stick dolls hanging from the trees, all around the clearing, tied with string, facing inward, staring at me. That's when I left, slowly, quietly. After that, things changed. Every night, I heard scratching on the cabin walls. Not an animal, not claws. It was slower, intentional, like someone dragging their nails along the wood. One side of the cabin, then another, like someone circling the house. One morning, I woke up and found muddy barefoot prints on my front porch, leading up to the door. But no prints going away. Bought trail cams, set them up around the cabin front porch, back windows, tree line. That night, I didn't sleep. The next morning, I checked the footage. Most clips were normal deer, birds, a raccoon. But one, around 2:47 a.m., caught him. A man, naked, dirty, gaunt, with long tangled hair, crawling on all fours toward my porch, like a spider. He paused in front of the camera, then slowly turned and looked right into the lens and smiled. Not a normal smile. Too wide, too many teeth. I deleted the video and packed a bag. I left that morning, didn't even eat breakfast. I drove straight into town and found the nearest gas station. I told the clerk what I saw, what I found in the woods. He didn't seem surprised. He said, "You're not the first to say that. Some folks say there's a man who never left the forest, been living out there for years." I asked if anyone had found him. He just shook his head. People stopped looking after a while. That was 5 months ago. I moved back to the city. More cabins. No more hiking. I don't even go to parks anymore, and I haven't seen him since. But a few weeks ago, I found something hanging from my apartment doorknob. A little doll, made from sticks and string, exactly like the ones in the trees. If you ever find a trail in the woods that isn't on any map, don't follow it. If you find a shelter surrounded by strange little dolls, turn around, leave. And if you think you're alone out there, you're not. Because someone's out there, and he doesn't want to be found. He wants to find you. Story 3. We were trapped in a remote snow station. Then something started knocking from under the snow. We were supposed to be the last crew out there. 4 people. 1 month. Take down some old equipment in an abandoned weather station in the middle of the Alaskan wilderness. No roads. No cell service. Just us, the snow, and the wind. It sounded easy. But what we found out there still keeps me up at night. Because something was already living beneath that outpost, and it wanted out. Asterisk. We were sent to decommission an old government-run weather outpost buried in the Takina mountain range. There were 4 of us, me, Ava, Ryan, and Miguel. We were flown in by chopper with supplies to last 30 days. The place hadn't seen a full maintenance team in over 6 years. Just a concrete bunker built into the snow and ice. 2 floors, thick walls, an old diesel generator and satellite radio. We arrived. Everything seemed fine. Cold, silent, remote, but nothing felt dangerous. Not yet. Asterisk. The trouble started around day 4. At night, we began hearing sounds. Knocking. Faint, hollow, coming from beneath the floor. We thought it was the plumbing, or the ice shifting, or maybe just the wind. But it kept happening. Knock. Pause. Knock. Same pattern. Same timing. Then one night, Ryan said, "It's tapping in code." We laughed, but he wasn't joking. Asterisk. The basement had a rusted steel hatch bolted into the back wall. It wouldn't open. No one knew what it led to. One night, Ava found old notebooks stashed behind a cabinet upstairs. Logs. Station entries from the 90s. Most were ruined by water damage, but a few pages were still readable. One entry stood out. Knocking again tonight. Same pattern. We sealed the lower tunnel. Haven't reopened it since the incident. That was it. No explanation. Just a final warning. If it knocks twice, don't answer. Asterisk, asterisk. It didn't stop. Every night, same time. The knocking returned. Sometimes from the floor. Sometimes from the walls. Sometimes moving between rooms. Miguel tried responding once, tapping back the same rhythm with a wrench. It paused. Then knocked again. Faster. Louder, like it was learning. Copying him. That night, Ava started crying. Asterisk, asterisk. The next morning, we found footprints around the outpost. Bare. Human-like, but wrong. Toes spaced too wide. Footprints too deep. And they weren't leading anywhere. Just circling the station. Over and over again. The snow hadn't fallen for days. These tracks were fresh, and there was only one set, like something had clawed its way up from under the ice, and just watched us. Asterisk, asterisk. We tried the satellite radio. Nothing. Just static. The generator flickered. That night, for a few seconds, everything went pitch black. Then we heard it. From inside the air vents. Scratching. Slow. Deliberate. Almost like breathing. And then, knock. 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 Pause. Knock. Closer than ever before. Asterisk, asterisk. That night, Ryan tapped the wall again. Just once. And whatever was out there responded. With the exact same pattern. Then again. Louder. Then again. Faster. The pipes began to rattle. Something heavy was moving through the vents. We rushed to the basement. The hatch was dented. Something had hit it from the inside. We backed away slowly. Miguel whispered, "It's not knocking anymore. It's asking to come in." Asterisk, asterisk. The next morning, Miguel was gone. No struggle. No sound. His bunk was empty. His coat still there. We found footprints in the snow, leading from the back door to the forest edge. Then they just stopped. Gone. Like something had pulled him down into the earth. Asterisk, asterisk. I found the official report, buried in the old logbooks. Incident report, November 1997. It said 2 workers were sent to inspect a collapsed tunnel beneath the outpost. Only one body was recovered. The other was never found. After that, crews reported knocking, tapping, movement in the walls. The final log was written in shaky handwriting. We should have let him die down there. Asterisk, asterisk. That night, Ava vanished too. She said she was going to try the radio one more time. I found the radio room empty. The steel hatch was open. No footprints, no drag marks. Just cold air pouring in from the black tunnel below. Ryan and I barricaded the hatch with everything we could find. At 4:17 a.m., we heard footsteps. Inside the hallway. Slow, heavy. Ryan grabbed a flashlight and stepped out. That was the last time I saw him. Asterisk, asterisk. I woke up to the sound of helicopter blades. Rescue had arrived. I don't remember calling them. I don't even remember falling asleep. I ran outside with nothing but the clothes on my back. When they asked what happened, I lied. I said the others got lost in the storm, but I knew they didn't. Asterisk, asterisk. The outpost was sealed, shut down permanently. But I know something's still down there, buried under snow and concrete. Maybe it was once human. Maybe it's something older. But if you ever find yourself deep in the wilderness and you hear knocking from beneath the floor, don't answer, because once you do, it knows you're listening.